Stories, where we tell behind the scenes stories of the fire service and people that work in the fire service. My name's Bob, and this is Doug, and with us today we have a special guest, Brian, and we got a few stories to tell you about what happened around the fire station. Some of us, oft times we would go to an alarm, get called out to an alarm, but oft times the alarms come into us. And this is a story about that. And I'll start off, boys, with the first one.
Sure, Bob.
It was a Saturday morning, and we just got into work. And, beautiful day, and a lovely day to get married. As this guy that came in sort of thought. But we went upstairs after lineup, and they're drinking coffees, and we look out the window. This guy said, "Come here, guys, look at this. Come here, guys, look at this." And we looked at it, and a pickup truck had pulled into the parking lot. And there's a guy in the back, and he had a ball and chain around his ankle. So his buddies come in and talk to us, and in a very embarrassed voice, they had a stag the night before, and he woke up with this ball and chain around his ankle, and he had to come in for us to get it off. So we had the stuff, but I thought it was quite funny, and I'm glad we had the stuff to take it off his leg, because
He's lucky.
They didn't have the key?
no, there's no key. They couldn't find the key at all. So we had to get it off, and I wouldn't want him to go to the wedding with a ball and chain on his ankle, because it's sort of he wouldn't want his bride to be to think that was a symbolic gesture.
No, that doesn't set a good impression on the father-in-law.
Oh no, it wouldn't.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a story, Bob and Brian. Reminds me of a story about this one evening it was about 10 o'clock at night, and the guys at the station are all outside sitting waiting for an alarm to come in, or maybe go to bed, whichever comes first. And a pickup truck came in. There was a woman in the back of the pickup truck, and the headboard of a bed, she was fastened, handcuffed to it. And this guy, he says, "It's my girlfriend, and I don't know, I handcuffed her to the bed, we're having sex, and we had finished the sex, and it was all over, and he said, I lost the key." And we're like, "What?" Like that.
So how did she come in? Well, like she was in the back of it. Was she naked, or?
No, she was kind of dressed, but not really.
Tough to put a shirt on.
It is sure tough, but he had her wrapped up pretty tight. He was trying to cover her up, protect her from the firefighters. But anyways, here we are. We got the saws out, and we got the jaws out, and we're trying to cut these handcuffs off without hurting her. And this steel bedpost, and it was terrible. But anyways, we had a good laugh over it.
Yeah,
Funny some of the stuff.
you see all kinds.
Well, this is kind of getting a little bit more ominous with each story. This is on the same line as your stories, but not quite as nice. So this was just a couple of years ago, just before I retired, and we had a new recruit in the station whose dad was a firefighter. And as you guys can attest to, there's maybe a little bit more pressure on you, because you're expected to be better because you grew up in it, right?
Yeah.
And so the guys were putting the gears to this new guy, and at the time, the flag stayed up unless you were told to take it down. But they told him every night, you have to take the flag down, fold it up properly, and present it to the senior captain, which was me. So the first night he comes in with the flag. I'm like, "What's this?" He goes, "There's the flag for the night." And the guys are standing behind him, don't tell him. So that also meant he had to go out in the morning and put the flag back up. And he was out there one morning, and he heard a strange sound from the other side of the hedge. And just then, a sports car of some kind.
Before you get to the second, why would they do that?
I think as a part of making him part of the team.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own dues to pay.
And if they leave the hall?
Well, they wanted him. They were going to keep it up for 3 months, and hopefully when he went to the next station, he would present that captain with the flag, and then and they'd be able to be like, "What's this all about?" Which actually did happen.
Did it?
It went that far?
It did. I had broken my arm that summer, so I missed most of the summer with this guy. And when I got back to work, I got a call from another station. Somebody's got to tell this guy stop taking the flag down every night. So I called him, but anyway, he's a stand-up guy. He's out front. He hears this funny noise, and a car comes whipping into the parking lot at the same time. So he goes over to see what's going on, and there's a disagreement going on between this woman and the guy who drove up in the car. And she looked at him and sort of went over to him for help. It turns out she
The
was,
firefighter.
yeah, and he quickly called one of the other guys out as backup, not knowing what was going on. And as soon as things got a little bit, a little questioning going on, the guy got in his car and took off. It turns out she was being human trafficked.
Oh, really?
And she had escaped and made it to the fire hall, but didn't know how to get anybody from the fire hall to come outside. There was a telephone, but she didn't realize. She was from Quebec, so things are different there, I guess. But
What, were you guys on the apparatus for, or was he on the app or the ramp or something that he saw her?
no, it was this station. The flagpole was sort of at one end of the building by the train tracks. This was at the new station too, right? But stand up by both of those guys that handled it, and they saved her. The police ended up coming, and yeah,
From Quebec. She must have been a stripper.
I don't know.
So wonder if people consider us firefighters heroes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite the story, Brad.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, you never know what's going to come wandering in the hall.
No.
I got a story, and it's sort of a little bit off of that,
Oh,
but
geez.
it's a great one. Now, we used to have posters. We had a cartoonist in the city, famous cartoonist, and he made us a bunch of posters, like little not posters, 9.5 by 11, and it was a firefighter, and he had his hat on, and he had a cigarette with the ashes sort of falling off, and ashes on his shirt, and his one shirt tail hanging out,
I remember.
and it said, "Don't look like you gone to blazes." Was that? Were they there when you came on too?
Yeah.
And then down at the
So the
bottom,
day I retired, that
Yeah.
picture was up on the wall.
Ting.
Ting, yeah.
Yeah.
And then down at the bottom had a
yeah.
firefighter. Remember standing at ease with the V-shaped body on him and dressed.
He took me for the model for that one, I think.
No,
No.
that's not the one, Bob.
It was another picture we're talking about.
Sorry, I shouldn't interrupt.
But anyways, we had one fire that was sort of the poster child for the. I mean, Ting could have put him on the poster, and he was at a station for years and years and years, and they didn't have lineups or anything like that. So, the dress uniforms, or I think he hadn't had his coat on for 5 years, right? And he hadn't poled his shoes for that long. But during that time in the city, we were finding that the aerial ladders, we had an alarm, and one of the aerial ladders went around the corner, and with the stress on it, the front axle broke on it, and pulled up. Remember that when it pulled up into the curb, and they stopped it, and so of course, we know what they do. The word goes out to everybody that's driving an aerial, or everybody, to check the front axles. So I was working the hall with this guy, and he's down, after we have our coffee, we all do our assigned jobs, and he went down and got on a crawler, sort of went underneath, and holy geez, on the front axle, you could see a crack starting on the front axle. Something was wrong. So he called up the platoon chief and to do, whatever he's going to do with it. And of course, we got an idea, right? Just at that time, much to the distress of many, many, many of our firefighters, we got our first female deputy chief, and she was boot and polish, like lick and polish. So I thought to myself, okay. So I phoned up my wife, and I said, Nancy, who loves to play practical jokes too? I says, Nancy, I says, call the station phone, ask for this guy, pick up the phone, and congratulate him for finding this cracked axle, and also you know, tell them that you've got our local TV station coming at 1 o'clock to make this a news story. And she's going to be there at 1 o'clock. And I said, but make sure you say, look sharp. Make sure you look sharp. So this was about 10:30, right? So she said, look sharp. So this guy comes upstairs, and my God, he's rooting through everybody's locker trying to find the cleanest outfit that fit, you know, and trying to find some shoe polish, you know. And he spent the entire time, even over lunch, getting himself ready, and, you know, had a shower and had his hair all combed back, and he ended up at 1 o'clock. He went downstairs in the apparatus floor, and he was waiting for him, as he was told by the deputy chief, who was my wife. She's my chief, but she. And he walked back and down, and at about 1:45, he comes back up, and we say, "What's going on, Pete? How did it go?" Well, they never showed. He said, so he couldn't quite figure it out, right? So we just let it go, right? Nobody told him anything that he'd been had, you know, but he looked good for a while. And then about 3 months later, there's a card that comes to my address, addressed to my wife. And we open the card, and it says, picture of the Wizard of Oz, Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz, and Toto. And you open it up, and it says, I'm going to get you and your little doggy too.
Yeah.
You finally
The jig
figured
is
it
up.
out.
Yeah, you figured out.
Oh yeah, there's somebody with loose
somebody
lips.
squealed.
Yeah.
Somebody squealed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, thank you for tuning in today. We post every Friday. And if you liked us, please press the like button. And if you didn't, well, never mind. But we'll see you later.
Bye.